All right. Welcome, everyone, to your personalized deep dive all about getting ready for those industrial designer interviews.
Yeah,
We know you want to totally crush it, and that's what we're here for.
absolutely.
We're going to use these awesome resources from RoleCatcher to help get you there.
That's right.
This isn't just about memorizing answers or anything like that.
Right.
It's really about understanding what's behind all those tricky questions
Yeah.
and then how to really showcase your own skills and experiences.
Exactly. And that's exactly what sets apart those successful candidates.
Okay?
It's about showing that you can think for yourself,
Yeah.
that you can solve problems, that you're not just reciting stuff you memorized.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into it with this first question here from RoleCatcher.
Okay.
Can you tell me about your design education and any relevant coursework or certifications you've completed?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds pretty straightforward,
Mm-hmm.
but I think there's more to it than meets the eye.
Absolutely. There is. Interviewers really want to see how your education connects to their needs. So you need to think about it from their perspective.
Right.
They're busy people. They want somebody who can come in and get started right away.
Makes sense.
So instead of just listing all the courses you took,
Yeah.
highlight those projects or skills that are really going to be applicable to their work.
So it's like if they're really focused on sustainable design
Exactly.
and you happen to have like an awesome project on eco-friendly packaging,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you bring that up.
That's your time to shine. You got to bring that up.
Okay, cool.
And don't forget certifications,
Oh, yeah?
especially those that are recommended in RoleCatcher's Career Guide,
Okay.
like the CPCD or that Autodesk Certified Professional. You know, those
Yeah.
those demonstrate your commitment to professional development and to keeping up with industry standards.
That's a great point, like showing them that you're already invested in your growth as a designer.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. So let's move on to question number 2.
All right.
What is your process for researching and developing new product designs? Now this one feels a little bit more open-ended, right?
It is, and that's intentional because they're really looking for insight into your design thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of giving them a step-by-step, you really want to show your adaptability, how you think.
Okay.
Do you start with user research, competitive analysis, sketching?
Okay.
Explain your preferred methods, but you really want to emphasize that you're flexible
Gotcha.
and you can tailor your process to the needs of the project.
Yeah, so it's more about showing them how you approach problems than having a one-size-fits-all answer.
Yes, exactly.
And you know what? This is where RoleCatcher's AI feedback can really come in handy
It can.
because it analyzes those job descriptions
Uh-huh.
and it helps you to really identify keywords that are related to the design process.
Yes,
And then you can use those to really highlight the skills that they're looking for.
absolutely. And by using those keywords, it really shows that you've actually read the job description
Particularly, yeah.
and you've thought about what they need.
Okay, awesome. So let's tackle this classic interview question.
Okay.
Can you describe a time when you faced a significant design challenge and how you overcame it?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everyone has these moments,
Everyone does.
but it's all about how you handle them that matters.
Precisely. They want to see that you're resilient and you're a good problem solver.
Exactly.
So choose a challenge that's relevant to the role.
Okay.
But instead of just describing what the problem was,
Yeah.
really focus on what actions you took to overcome that challenge.
Right. Okay.
Did you have to collaborate with engineers
Mm-hmm.
to find a workaround? Did you research materials to meet sustainability goals?
Well, yeah.
Or conduct user testing
Right.
to identify a usability issue?
Okay. And this is where quantifying your success is really key, right?
Yes.
Did your solution reduce those production costs by like 15%?
Exactly.
Or lead to a 20% increase in user satisfaction or something like that?
That's right.
Those concrete metrics really make your impact clear.
Yes, because interviewers, they often hear a lot of vague statements.
Yeah.
And you want to stand out with concrete numbers.
Love it. Okay, so on to question number 4.
Right.
How do you stay up to date on industry trends and emerging technologies?
Okay.
This one feels like it's about more than just listing design blogs and magazines.
It really is. This is about your passion
Okay.
and your commitment to constantly learning in a field that's changing all the time.
Right.
So don't just give them a list of names.
Yeah.
Talk about a recent article that you read
Okay.
that challenged you or a new technology you're excited about.
So like if you're fascinated by 3D printing with biodegradable materials,
Yeah.
or you're excited about the latest advancements in human-centered design, that's when you share it.
That's what you want to share because it shows them that you're not just keeping up.
Okay.
You're actually engaged in shaping the future.
I love that. Okay, cool. And don't forget the RoleCatcher Career Guide
Yes.
highlights key areas to stay informed about.
It does.
Like, new manufacturing processes or advancements in user interface design.
Absolutely.
That's a great reminder to connect those broader industry trends back to the role that you're interviewing for.
Yeah.
It shows you've done your homework.
It really does.
Okay, so let's dive into question 5.
Oh, okay.
How do you balance form and function in your designs?
All
This feels like the eternal design dilemma.
It is a classic question.
It is.
But it really goes beyond just a simple balancing act.
Yeah.
The best designs, they really integrate both form and function.
Right.
To create something beautiful and practical.
It's like designing a chair that's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
But if it's super uncomfortable to sit on,
Right.
it fails.
Then it fails its purpose.
Exactly. So this is your chance to talk about your design philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you lean towards minimalism, user-centered design, biomimicry?
Mm-hmm.
Think about your core values.
Yes.
And then use those examples from your portfolio to show how you brought them to life.
Exactly. Show them that you're not just good at making things look good,
Yes.
but that you really thought about it.
Okay, and that's such a great point. And you know what else? RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you identify which design philosophies are most relevant to that specific role that you're going for.
It can.
So you can really tailor your answer.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, are you ready to tackle question 6?
Let's do it.
How do you approach collaborating with other members of the design team, such as engineers or product managers?
This one's all about teamwork
Okay.
and communication.
Because design is rarely a solo act, right?
It's not, you're rarely working by yourself.
Especially in industrial design,
Exactly.
where you're working with all these different teams to bring a product to life.
That's right. And the interviewers, they want to see that you're not just a brilliant designer,
Yeah.
that you can actually work with other people.
You're a team player.
You're a team player. Exactly. So think about some specific examples where you've collaborated with engineers, product managers, or even marketing teams.
Oh, yeah.
How did you handle disagreements? And how did you make sure that everybody's voice was heard?
And this is where, like, all those soft skills from the RoleCatcher Career Guide come in handy, right?
They do.
Active listening, clear communication, conflict resolution.
All those things.
Those are essential for success.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, awesome. So shall we delve into the technical side of things?
Let's do it.
All right, question 7. Can you describe your experience working with different design software and tools?
Here's your time to shine.
Yeah.
Show them what you know.
It's like showcasing your mastery of different design languages, right?
It is.
Oh, wait.
Don't just list the software. Talk
Yeah.
about how you've actually used it
All right.
to achieve a specific result.
So give me an example.
Okay, so like I use SolidWorks to create those complex surface models for a medical device,
Okay.
which ensured that it was ergonomic and comfortable for the patient.
That's so much more compelling than just saying, I'm proficient in SolidWorks.
Is.
You're really showing them why you have the skills.
Exactly. And remember, honesty is key.
Right.
If you don't know the software they're asking about,
Yeah.
just be upfront, but say that you're willing to learn.
Yes.
Because in the design world, things are always changing, and showing that you're willing to learn new things, that's really important.
And you know what? This is where RoleCatcher's AI feedback is super valuable because it analyzes those job descriptions
It's
to figure out like what software skills they're really looking for.
right.
So you can highlight the most relevant experience, and then you can even identify areas where you might need to do some more training or get certifications.
That's fantastic. It takes all the guesswork out of it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready to tackle kind of a challenging question?
I think so. Hit me.
One that probes your decision-making and communication skills.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, question 8. Can you describe a time when you had to push back against a client or stakeholder's design request?
Ooh, that's a tricky one
It can be.
because it's about conflict.
It is, right?
And this question really assesses whether you can make good professional judgments and advocate for good design
Right.
while maintaining positive relationships.
So it's a balancing act.
It is. It takes diplomacy and clear communication.
It does. How do you approach this one without sounding like you're difficult to work with?
Well, you have to choose a specific situation
Good.
where you had to push back, but you need to focus on why you did that.
Okay.
Did the request compromise user safety?
Right.
Did it clash with accessibility standards? Was it not feasible within the budget or time frame?
Okay.
You'd have to explain why you pushed back.
Yeah. It's about showing them that you're not just saying no for the sake of it.
Exactly.
You're thinking about everything and advocating for the best possible outcome.
That's right. And don't forget to mention how you communicated your concerns.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Did you present alternative solutions?
Okay.
Did you use data or research to support what you were saying?
Mm-hmm.
Did you involve other team members to try to get everybody on the same page?
Right.
Those details show that you can handle sensitive situations well.
And if effectively.
And if you can, talk about a time when you were able to reach a compromise
Oh,
that made the client happy but also kept the design good.
yeah.
This shows them that you're a good problem solver.
Exactly. And you're committed to finding solutions that work for everyone.
It's about being assertive but also collaborative,
Yes.
which are essential skills for any successful designer.
Absolutely.
Okay, should we move on to the final question for this part of our deep dive?
Let's do it.
How do you balance the needs of different stakeholders in your designs?
Okay, this is a crucial one.
It is.
Because design is about more than just pleasing the client.
Right.
You have to think about the user,
Yeah.
and you have to meet business goals. It's like being the conductor of an orchestra, right?
It is.
You have to make sure all the different instruments are playing in harmony.
To create a beautiful symphony.
Exactly.
And this question shows them your strategic thinking skills.
Okay.
How do you get input?
Yeah.
How do you figure out what's most important? And then how do you make those tough decisions when things conflict?
And don't forget to prepare examples to show them that you can navigate those complex stakeholder dynamics.
Yes, absolutely.
And you know what else? This is where RoleCatcher's AI tools really shine,
They do.
because they can analyze that job description to figure out like what stakeholder groups you'll be working with, so you can tailor your answers.
That's right. It takes the guesswork out of it.
Awesome. So that wraps up the first part of our deep dive into these essential industrial designer interview questions.
It does.
We've covered so much,
We have.
from showcasing your education to navigating those tricky stakeholder dynamics.
It's a lot.
But remember, this is just the beginning.
It is. Stay tuned for part 2.
All right, so stay tuned for part 2, where we'll delve into even more insightful questions and expert tips
Right?
to help you ace that interview and land your dream design job.
Absolutely. And in the meantime, don't forget about RoleCatcher.
Yes,
They're there to support you every step of the way.
they are.
With their incredible resources and AI-powered feedback. You got this.
Awesome, you got this.
You got this. All right, welcome back for part 2.
Okay.
We're diving right back into those insightful interview questions that could really make or break your chances of landing that industrial designer role.
Okay, I'm ready for more.
All right.
So in that last part, we covered a lot about showcasing your skills and your experiences.
Yeah.
But now I'm kind of curious to dig a little deeper into those like curveball questions. You know, those ones that really test you on your feet.
They do, and that's a great point, because being able to really think on your feet
Right.
and explain your design decisions is so important.
It is.
So let's jump into a question that often trips people up. Can you describe a time when you had to push back against a client or stakeholder's design request?
Oh, yeah.
This one can be a little tricky because it involves, potential conflict.
Right. And it's like that balance, right, between advocating for good design,
Yeah,
but also maintaining those client relationships.
exactly.
Not always easy.
It definitely requires some finesse.
Yes, it does.
Because remember, they're hiring you for your expertise.
Right.
And sometimes that means disagreeing
Yeah,
if their request is going to compromise the product.
totally.
So how do you approach this question
Yeah.
without coming across as difficult?
Right.
Well, you really want to focus on collaboration
Okay.
and a problem solving in your response.
Okay.
You want to choose a specific situation where you had to push back, but you don't want to dwell on the disagreement.
Gotcha.
Instead, you highlight why you made that decision.
So like instead of saying like the client wanted a giant neon pink button and I said absolutely not.
Yeah.
I should be explaining why that design choice would have been detrimental to the user experience.
Exactly. Did it clash with accessibility guidelines? Was it inconsistent with the brand? Did it make manufacturing too complicated?
Right.
By explaining your reasoning, you're showing them that you really put thought into it.
Yes. And that I'm a professional.
Exactly. And remember, this question is also about your communication skills.
Okay.
How did you tell the client about your concerns?
Right.
Did you present other solutions?
Yeah.
Did you use data or research to support your argument?
Yeah.
Did you involve other team members to build a consensus?
Those details show that I can handle things well.
They do.
Okay.
And if you can share a story
Yeah.
about a time when you were able to make everybody happy, you kept the client happy, and the design stayed good.
Right.
That shows them you're a good problem solver.
And that I can find those win-win situations.
You can.
That's a great point.
It really...
Okay, so now let's move on to a question that assesses your ability to think strategically about design.
Okay.
How do you balance the needs of different stakeholders in your designs?
All right. The eternal juggling act.
It is, right?
Yeah.
You've got the clients, the users, the engineers, the marketing teams.
It's a lot.
Everyone has a stake.
They do, and it's your job to navigate all of that.
Right.
And come up with something that works for as many of them as possible.
That's a lot of pressure.
It is, but think about your process.
Yep.
How do you get information from all those different people?
Mm-hmm.
Do you do surveys, focus groups, talk to the engineers?
Okay.
You have to show them that you're thinking about everything.
I'm not just designing in a vacuum.
You're not.
Right.
And once you have all that input,
Yeah.
how do you figure out what's most important?
Okay.
Do you put the user first?
Right.
Do business goals sometimes come before aesthetics?
Okay.
This is where your design philosophy comes in.
It does, and this is a good opportunity to mention the RoleCatcher Career Guide again.
Oh, it is?
Because it talks a lot about understanding all those different design methodologies.
It does.
And being able to explain your approach.
Yeah, and by being able to do that, you show them that you know what you're talking about.
I have a clear understanding.
You do.
Okay.
And that you can make tough choices when you need to.
Now, what about when stakeholders have needs that clash?
That's a great question.
How do you handle that?
Well, this is where your problem-solving skills are really going to shine.
Okay.
Maybe you had to negotiate a compromise that made the client happy, but also worked for the engineers.
Yeah.
Or maybe you use data to convince somebody that a certain design change was really important.
Okay.
You want to show them that you can handle tough situations.
Handle those real-world scenarios.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about handling tough questions.
We have.
Showcasing your skills. But now I want to talk about something I think is often overlooked.
Okay.
Asking good questions.
Yes. That is so important.
Because remember, an interview is a two-way street.
It is.
It's not just about them assessing you.
Right.
It's also about you checking them out.
Exactly. You have to figure out if this company is a good fit for you.
So what should we be looking for to figure out about the company culture and the environment?
Well, pay attention to how they act.
Okay.
How do they treat each other and how do they treat you?
Right.
Do they seem like they work well together? Are they respectful?
Okay.
Do they seem interested in your ideas?
Right.
Do they talk about their design philosophy?
Okay.
These are all things that can tell you a lot about a company.
It's not just what they say, but how they say it and how they make me feel.
It is. And don't be scared to ask questions.
Okay.
What are the projects like?
Right.
How much freedom will you have?
Okay.
How does the team handle feedback?
These are all good things to know.
They are.
And by asking these questions, I'm not just getting information,
Right.
but I'm also showing that I'm really interested.
You're showing them your enthusiasm. Okay.
And that you're serious about finding the right job.
And if something feels off, that's important too.
It is. The best interviews are really just conversations.
Yeah.
You're both trying to figure out if it's a good fit.
Okay, great. So we covered a lot in this part.
We did.
We talked about those challenging questions, asking our own questions, and finding a company that's right for us. What a lot of information.
It is. And remember, RoleCatcher is a great resource.
It is.
For anyone who wants to work in design,
yes.
They have so much to offer.
Okay, awesome. Well, stay tuned for the final part.
Yes.
Where we'll explore even more strategies for acing that interview and making a great impression.
And in the meantime, check out those resources from RoleCatcher.
Yes.
Practice your answers.
Okay.
And most importantly, believe in yourself.
You got this.
You got this.
All right, welcome back to the final part of our deep dive.
Yes.
All about acing that industrial designer interview.
I feel like we've already covered so much ground.
We have.
From, breaking down those tricky questions to emphasizing how important it is to really showcase your skills.
Yeah, all your unique experience.
Exactly. So, for this last part,
I
was thinking we could focus on some practical tips and strategies that can really make a difference.
Sounds good.
So, we talked earlier about how to showcase your experience with design software and tools.
Right.
But it's one thing to just list those on your resume.
Yeah.
But how do you really show that you're a master during the interview?
Well, you have to connect the tools
Yep.
to the results you achieved.
Okay.
So instead of just saying, I'm proficient in SolidWorks,
Right.
you want to think about specific projects
Okay.
where you use that software to do something awesome.
So give me an example.
Okay, so like I use SolidWorks to create the complex surface models for a new ergonomic office chair.
Okay.
And to do that, I simulated different user postures and pressure points to make sure it was really comfortable and supportive.
That's so much better than just listing a skill,
It is.
because you're showing how you applied it to a real problem.
You are.
And don't forget to mention
Yeah.
that you're willing to learn new software,
Absolutely.
because things change so quickly.
All the time.
And that's where RoleCatcher's AI features are really great,
They are.
because they can actually analyze job descriptions to see which software skills are most in demand.
That's right.
So you can really tailor your answers
Exactly.
to show them that you're the perfect fit.
Yes, you're not just skilled,
Right.
but you have the right skills.
Exactly. Okay, so before we wrap up,
Okay.
I wanted to touch on one more thing that I think can make a big difference.
Right.
Your portfolio.
Oh, yes, the designer's visual resume.
It's more than just pretty pictures, though, right?
It's a chance to tell the story of your design journey.
Okay.
Show your problem-solving skills, your unique style.
So how do I make my portfolio really stand out?
Well, first of all, you
Yeah.
got to tailor it to the job.
Okay.
So highlight projects that fit their industry.
So like if I'm interviewing at a firm that specializes in sustainable packaging,
Exactly.
I should probably focus on my eco-friendly projects.
Yes. Show them you understand their work
Like,
and that your experience is relevant.
makes sense.
What else?
Well, you want to think about the story you're telling.
Okay.
Don't just show pictures. Give some context.
Right.
Explain the challenge, what you did, how you made decisions,
Okay.
and what the impact was.
So I'm telling a story with my portfolio.
You are. And you know what?
What?
RoleCatcher actually has some really great resources
Oh, yeah.
on how to present your portfolio.
Okay.
They've tips on visual storytelling and how to write good descriptions.
I'll have to check that out.
You should. And they even have AI-powered feedback
Wow.
that can look at your portfolio and give you suggestions.
That's amazing. Okay, so as we're wrapping up this deep dive.
I just want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
Interviews can be scary,
They can be.
but remember, you got this far for a reason.
You did.
You have the talent, the skills, and the passion to succeed.
Don't forget that.
It's so easy to get caught up in the pressure,
It is.
but you just have to be yourself.
And let your passion shine through.
Okay, so go into that interview with confidence.
Yes.
Be prepared to talk about your design thinking. And most importantly, enjoy the conversation.
Absolutely.
And remember, RoleCatcher is there to help you every step of the way.
They are.
All right, so to all our listeners out there, getting ready for those industrial designer interviews,
Yeah.
you got this.
You got this. Best of luck, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.